Welcome back to RLCraft, and today I have killed a dragon. Honestly, I did not. I actually found this one, and the weird part about it is I don't know where or how or when this happened. Only because it definitely was not there. Like, it was flying around, and then this is how I found it. This is how I found it, and of course, I'm collecting it. Eventually, I figure out I need more bottles, but not right now. But this kind of starts off the adventure of trying to basically find better loot. What better place than the ocean dungeon? You know, where I got murdered by a sea serpent and it took forever to find it. Well, this is how it started. Wonderful, isn't it? Yeah, it's I die a bunch. Let's just say that. The withers.
What are those?
Whatever special
Just wither skeletons, okay.
mob it
It
is,
was
or
way
whatever
more
mob he's
menacing.
wearing. I know there's a bunch of thorns. There's a bunch of skeletons with like explosive characteristics. I even threw my guardian in there, but not so great. These hurt skeletons, I believe, is what they're called. These things were the bane of my existence in this dungeon. And mind you, I didn't go all the way down. There was another layer I didn't even make it to because I just gave up. I was taking so much damage. And of course, I'm still trying, even with my bow. I don't remember if I actually enchanted this to, I want to say it was power 3 with infinity. But I don't remember, not that it's going to make much of a difference at this point. Because I'm pretty cautious. You see, I have the gates up and still, that damage just, I guess just the characteristics of that mob. Well, I make it to the part where basically everything's flooded. There's actual guardian spawners. And I'm trying my best kind of just make my way. I saw a chest farther down this hallway, but it wasn't happening. It really wasn't happening. I'm shooting. I'm doing damage. I really am. And then the specialty guardian shows up, which I didn't read. I was just basically trying to hit them before they hit me. And you see it there. Thorny Guardian, the Raging. And, of course, I died again. After that. And then, after that, I make my way down another corridor. And, of course, I was just catching fire and catching fire. I even tried it again at a distance, which I should have known better because the whole hurt skeletons. I don't know if the other mobs had killed it, so I'm just sitting here just shooting. And I'm still taking the damage. Look at that toe of mine. I know it is. I couldn't tell if something was behind me. I use so many bandages in this hallway. I know I see my foot there, and I pay a lot of attention to it, so this was very tedious for really nothing. I didn't really get much from this dungeon. Maybe I should have went down or looted more random stuff, but it just wasn't giving me anything. No bosses, I don't think, spawned inside this. But hopefully, even like my next episode, maybe I'll do that. And of course, yes, that's what happened. So, the idea is I had to still find some cooling goo. I had to make some cooling goo, so I needed frozen rods. But this is where I ended up here. I'm just shooting away. And this guy is amazing as in battle because he just moves so fast in comparison to a rock. Because a rock, of course, is up, down, kind of left and right, but it's hard to maneuver with a rock and shoot at the same time. With this guy, I was just on the move. I still took damage, but I felt more comfortable. This Reaver, I think is what he's called. Him and that Wendigo, I believe that's what that tall gentleman is. in the blue icy waters. That's what I need to kill to get those frozen rods. I believe those are the 2 mobs that drop the frozen rods. And I guess I need looting or something, because I spent so much time over here. So much time over here. These guys, useless, but they spawn the most. They do a lot of damage to me. When did these villagers come over here? I don't remember these villagers over here. Because there was no villagers on this side. There was like 1 or 2 left over there on that far part of that village, but I don't remember. See, I'm getting loot, but not the loot. See these 2 guys right there on the left and the 2 on the right? That's what I need. The problem is, of course, there's the flying wave guys too, and I'm trying not to hit my guy. And I can't just... Now, they're not too bad. Like those guys. This guy, he seems menacing, but you can kind of manage without him doing this to you. It's not too bad. It really isn't too bad. They just weren't really dropping what I needed. And I'm still, and I spent probably 2 seasons over here.
No,
I think
don't
it was
despawn.
summer.
Don't despawn.
And fall.
Don't say that very often, but don't despawn.
Winter wasn't happening, because you can see how cold I am. I still need that cold goose so I can start going into the, the deserts.
Would you stop?
Savannah, I can make my way around when it's not like middle of the
Got
summer.
it.
Specifically,
No,
more so
don't
winter.
need that.
But this time,
Where's the other one?
I'm sitting over here, and eventually another
Did you drop any?
one of the events happened. And wouldn't you know it, it was a Ventoraptor event. Right here. So my idea was to kill these things and then make my way back into my little dirt hovel right there. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. Because the big ones I think I can just get away from, but you see I'm freezing. And that's kind of where I start rushing my way through. I kind of kited him this way just so I can get down. This guy wasn't paying much attention, so I jumped down. And I'm running. I already take damage, try to shut the door, and then this little guy goes in here. There's not much left for me. There really isn't. So I kind of just almost just gave up, but I didn't. Came back, and you see what I've gotten. It's not much. I think as a whole I got 2, maybe 3 rods, and that was it. My Ventoraptor got killed, so I gave up. But I'm back here, trying to fiddle around, trying to figure out how this works. And you can see here, you use slime balls, and of course you get the powder, the frozen powder, and that's how you make that actual cooling part of the ingredient, the cooling goo. And then you just use string on the top and the bottom row whenever I decide that we hit it to work, and that's where you get your cooling liner from. But that's not all I was doing this time. I was trying to do everything, including adding hearts. So I was finding that I think it's heart shards and can make hearts that you can add to your hotbar. Heart shards, which was amazing. So I was just really, really happy about that as a whole. But the thing about that is I still wanted to kill some dragons. I was tired of these dragons. So that's what I did. You see me starting to actually fight and fight. I tried from the water. Of course I can breathe underwater with this helmet on. I don't think I have my other sea serpent armor on because I don't want to lose it. This one's enchanted, so I'm sitting here trying to fight. There's not much left in this fight for me, just for the sake of it's boring. You can see me. I think this one specific fight took me, I don't know, 5 minutes of just this, because it's hard to get that trajectory right when you're just shooting at it. But it was so nice to be able to fight it, and of course, if you can stay a little bit higher than the dragon, it's nice. It's really nice because basically its defense is more so blowing down its fire than up. And you can kind of just keep moving sideways. If it starts blowing fire, just start moving sideways. Just don't stop. But eventually, I get this guy down. I don't even know what kind of health he had. I really don't. But I'm sitting here shooting at him and shooting at him. And you see, he shot at me. I think he hit me like once or twice. But I got him. I really did. And boom. First one is down. Now, this dragon, I think, killed me several times at the beginning of the game. So I was happy to get this one. But again, I forgot more bottles to get more fire dragon. Of course, you can add that to, of course, weapons and things. So I was sitting out here trying to see if I can get thirsty. It didn't happen. I tried, but I just couldn't get thirsty. So eventually, I just end up getting back in the water, which it's nice. I can breathe in the water. I can sit here and take my time and not be too bad. But I collect everything from this one, which is great. It's. I want to say this was my first dragon I killed. I'm pretty sure this was the first one I killed, not the first one I harvested. I would want more of the emerald ones though, because I think the armor's better on that one. This is a bronze one, I believe, and I don't know. I really don't. Maybe I should look it up. The mechanics of can you ride these dragons? Because I'm sitting here just trying to get things, and I don't know. Can you ride these dragons? Because I sure don't know. So, of course, this is the one next to it. I'm fighting it. And it's still this same boring little fight. You see, I'm getting hot here. This savannah is no joke. But this is where I started. That's why I came back here. Eventually, I get this one too. And it's down, which I was happy about too. That distance fighting is so great. This bow is not great either, but it does the job. With infinity, you can, of course, just keep shooting and shooting. And it was very beneficial as a whole. So I'm going to collect this one as well. This bird. But I actually, after this, I know what I wanted to do was still explore. Because I was kind of on that hot streak of, I got some loot, but I really wanted to see more around here. Because I didn't see really anything. Because I didn't really go anywhere at all. So what all this stuff is, I wished I had a backpack at this point, but then I don't because I want the extra armor. I start looting. I go to this graveyard. Why? Because I've never been to one. Eventually I get attacked here too. There's really nothing here. I opened, I think, every single one that didn't have a locked chest in it. There's nothing here. Don't know why I didn't use my axe, but there's nothing. You can see it's just garbage. Maybe the lock ones have it, but I still have not figured out how to use the lock picks. And honestly, I'm a little too lazy for that. I usually find some good loot elsewhere, aka battle towers, but no. Great, there was a spawner under there. I don't even know what that is. Is it a spider? Probably. But but I'm still looting. I'm in hopes of finding good stuff, so I'm looting. And of course, my temp, I cannot wait to get better cooling and heating. And I've tried, and I'm working my way that way. And if I can just manage this weather, I'll be just relieved. I found this little cabin with all these different accessories. I'm not here, though, for the decorations, like to playing RLCraft. I want the action to see what I can really do, because I don't plan to build too much. I build some. I might build a little bit more, actually, but not in, let's say, a banditcraft sense or let's build sort of thing. I really just want to explore what RLCraft has to say off. RLCraft. I'm going to get my English correct. I would rather see what RLCraft has to offer. There we go. And usually it's exploring, fighting, which kind of gets a little tedious, but still. This sand village, the thing is beautiful. Beautiful. Not that. That over there to the left. It's just amazing. Of course, I can't go in there. It's too hot. It's too hot. Eventually, I'll get there. But I just keep on exploring my way around in hopes of finding some good stuff. This temple which is really funny. I think it's just, I didn't realize how close all this stuff was together, because I guess from the north side of this, where the statues are at, I actually was over there at some point. And I think I might find my way back here because I kind of circle around in the area. And that's one thing I can do, even without a compass, is navigate my way around, which I end up doing. You may see it in a video, you may not, but basically I get lost for a while. It's a temple, not a dock. I mean dock. Yeah, these little notes are just different places. I think that's very cool. I kind of look inside, but I don't want to go inside. It's just not one of those things. I don't want to fight. I'm kind of just exploring now. But this guy was a problem. I flew by this village. Mind you, I didn't go in this village. This thing, dragon, was just destroying this village. Like, just saying, well, I don't like you. I don't know why. No one did anything to this dragon. So I started taking shots at it. Kind of wished it got stuck, and it didn't get stuck, and it's up. It's up and flying, which is good for me, because as long as I keep my distance, I can get them. And this fight, I want to say this was one of my funnest fights. I think a bunch of the villagers actually survived. Most of the village itself did not, but this was probably one of my funnest fights I've had in RLCraft. It just as a whole, because this dragon fight, of course, it took me a little while, but eventually I got really bold. And yeah, it got framey there. That wasn't like my recording. That's just the game. Eventually, I figure out like that sweet spot to where to hit it. The interesting part is how they glide left and right when they're dodging. And it's always in the same area. They don't go out of a certain area. But you see that. Look at this. Look at this fire. And he's just upset, or she's upset. I don't know what kind of dragon it is. But this thing was just upset. For no reason. And it's a bronze one. I believe that's what they call it. Bronze. It's a fire dragon, though. I don't even remember what level this was. But this fight, you can see how the fight ends up. It's just like this. But because I was fighting really close, this guy, I can't remember when so you see that? You just keep moving sideways. Sometimes you take a little damage, but a little protection helps a lot. But this is basically how the fight went for me. This lag back and forth. But you can see he's flying back. I'm trying to draw him away, and he keeps flying back. It reminds me of Stranded Deep, because the sharks in that game, this is a totally different game, will only swim around the same area. So if you get far enough away, it just swims back away. Even if it's right on you, it will swim back to that same perimeter, that area that actually it's in. I guess because that's its boundaries, I guess. I assume that's how these dragons work. I don't know. I might test that out. But this dragon took a while as well. But it was so fun because I took a bunch of damage. But I think he got mad because I kept flying up. And it just wasn't flying up as well. But their designs are really beautiful. Like, it's detailed. It's nice. It's not gaudy. It's smooth. But yeah, you can see the fight. I was just really getting into it. And eventually, and it's hard to see past the bird. I'm glad you can't shoot it in the head like you can with a horse. But it just, you can see it. You see? You just keep kind of moving sideways. And this guy, it's up there now. I've gotten it pretty high, and it should go back down. Yeah, see how it's going back down? Yeah, it's upset. Get him high enough, it's going to go back down. That's a characteristic of the dragon. But if you don't, I don't know how it is with a ground mob. Like my Ventoraptor, I don't know how well the fight would go unless it's an open area, of course. But the dragons, like any other one, would fly up. Like if it takes damage, any mob that flies, if it takes damage, it keeps flying up, up, up. Is their defense. But this is not what almost killed me. I'm about to loot this thing, and this creeper decides to show his face. A creeper. I have decent armor on, so that was such a weird thing, though, because I was about to get my face exploded by a creeper. A creeper. If anything, a creeper. after fighting so many dragons, well, it's not that many, but it was enough to feel accomplished. And at some point I should have figured out, and I do, that I could just pick up the dirt from the creeper explosion, and I'd start figuring that out, which is a little late. But I would love to get in some more dragon fights. The one dragon I would love to have on my wish list, which I'm afraid of still, is the ice dragon. It's my favorite dragon out of all this stuff. Maybe next episode you'll see one, maybe not. But I'm actually having pretty good fun with this after learning how to survive as a whole. But I hope to catch you in the next episode, and thank you for watching.